live. See how this goes. And it's loading. See if it's actually up. Looks like it is. Unmute. Sound good. Okay, cool. Alright. Ultra low latency. No drop frames. Welcome aboard. Let's get started. So, what we're going to do today is take a look at what I would like to call message boxes, finding them and what to do with them when you do find them. We're going to dive right in. This, as you can see, is Internet Download Manager registration. Tons of people always asking for this thing to be cracked or whatever. We're going to look into the mechanisms that they use, and from that one, if you learn something, might be able to glean how to do so. Otherwise, we're going to take a look at specifically message boxes. How do you find them? Is there a button in Ollie that says take me to this message box? Well, kind of, yeah. There's actually a hotkey. So if we were to pause it here, and then Alt F9 or debug menu, execute tell user code, it's going to keep running until we click OK. Now this works probably about 90% of the time. There are a few tricks to get around this, but we'll hit OK, and we'll see that we land right here where this is called message box. This is a function call from user32.dll for message box A, or ASCII. Now, what do we do with that? Well, this here would be a function that was called to produce this. We could look and see where all these are located at, and you see that there's lots of them. Or, specifically, we want to know which one gave us that last message. So if we hit F7, now we're on the return. It's going to take us right back to wherever produced that message. We'll hit F7, and here we are in our Internet Download Manager, and we land right in the method. Please enter your first name. So it's going to call this, and if you don't have first name in, it's going to execute this. Otherwise, it's going to jump to here. Cool. So this is somewhere bad. And it resets. So it jumps to here, and it's going to do this. And if you don't have your last name in, it's going to run this. And if you do have a last name in, well, we're kind of guessing here because we didn't get a message box that said, please enter your last name. Instead, we went to here. Now, you see that we did end up coming out of this call, but did it tell us please enter your last name? Let's look again here. Let's hit run. Oops, that is the wrong button, but okay. So, there we go. Please, you have entered, okay. So, that's not the message we're getting, but that's okay. So we're going to keep looking. This call does that, and then it does a return. So we did take this, we did land here, enter your email, enter your serial, we did all that. So we jumped over that, landed here, and then I bet that this does some fanciness with our key. It's a loop of some kind, and eventually it's going to jump you out to here, or you're going to land here of some regard. And then right here we're going to compare some stuff, and then it's going to take the inverse of whatever's in ECX and decrement it by 1 and jump, if not 0, to here. So if it is, we've done something wrong. And you see that here, if you land here, it jumps you all the way back up to that same message box call. So when we come out of it, it looks like we're coming out from here, but now we're actually landing on this jump point from this location right here. Because ideally we need to jump over it and land here and kind of go from there. So let's take a look at all 3 of these points when we hit OK. And we see we're going to load an address into EDI, and it's going to be whatever EBP is minus 88, so EBP minus 88. We're going to hit F7, and there we go. EDI now has well, EVP minus 88 in it, and you see that that's what we typed in. Excuse me. Now it's going to do some ORing on ECX. Why ECX? Not too sure. We weren't really paying attention to what ECX was or what it meant, but we do have this strange value in it. And if we follow it in the dissembler, that didn't do us any good. We're going to hit the minus sign to come back. Do we have a follow and dump? We do. Is it anything interesting? No, because this is a value that's being calculated as we go. Hit the minus sign, take us back there as well. So we'll hit F7 again. Let's just watch this math unfold. So now we see that it is, after doing that OR, yeah, of course, or all F's, and now it's going to clear EAX, and it's going to compare. Now, if you don't know what this command does, you can always right-click, help on command, and do a bit of viewing here. Now, search a string for the first byte that is the same as register AL. On each iteration, processor compares the contents of register AL with the byte at address EDI and sets flags COS, ZA, and P according to the difference AL minus what's at EDI. If D is cleared, increment EDI by 1. Otherwise, D increments EDI by 1. Register ECX is always decremented by 1. So ECX essentially is a counter. Hi, you are back. Well, I'm here. I never really left. I just got really infrequent. Anyways, so what we're looking at here, if the compared operands were identical, flag Z will be set, and the search stops. Otherwise, processor repeats the whole cycle again and again until count exhausts or matching EDI will be found. Howdy, howdy. Happy New Year and happy reversing. That's right. It's 2018. It's time to get down to business. Odd years suck. Even years rule. Wubba lub dub dub. If ECX initially contains 0, this instruction does nothing. So what do we see in ECX right now? Definitely not 0. It's negative. So let's hit F7. Actually, let's take a look at what's at EDI. Oh, it's our key. Well, let's take a look at EAX. There's nothing in there right now. Let's hit F7. And we see that it went 1 character, and again it's doing nothing. So essentially it's counting to see how long it is. So at the end of this, we will have a difference of how long it is, and that's why the very next instruction is going to be a not. It will tell us that our key that we put in was 19 characters long. So, well, minus that last one that it counted, the decrement, will be 18, which of course is 24. So if it's not equal to 0, then we jump over, because it's gonna say, oh, your key is not long enough, or it's missing somehow and we missed it. So now it's gonna come on over here. What's up? Oh, yeah, that's Daddy. Sorry, life. Have you heard of the kernel memory leak targeting all Intel CPUs starting from Pentium to current gen CPUs that allows one to modify kernel memory from ring 3 in ring 0? It's crazy. I have, although I'm glad you brought it up, because I heard of it, it was probably 2 or 3 months ago, and kind of forgot about it. I'll have to add that to the list to be looked into. Hold you? You're hungry? Yeah? Okay. And I'll be right back. I'm going to get the kids some food. Let's go find some food. All right, I'm back. So we were following this through. That's what we were doing. So let's do it. So we missed that jump, came over to this jump, and now it's going to do some stuff. Then when we come out, it looks like it's going to do some more stuff. So this is a loop doing something. We're going to try not to look too much into it right now. Excuse me. And see what happens when we come out of it. So we're going to hit F9, and now we're out of it. Let's take a look. So there's this VH here, and EDI is this. Let's follow it and dump, see if it's anything interesting. Looks like just the end of our key there. It looks like it read a little bit further than our key was, but we never know. So now let's see what's sort of interesting things happen. So it's going to take our key and then toss it over to this function, and looks like it's going to do some magical stuff here. Anytime you see this sort of thing, it's a lookup table of some kind. And I'd be willing to bet that once this is complete, we'll have some interesting stuff on the outside here. Oops. There we go. So we're going to hit F7. Oops, I hit F7. No. There we go. So now let's see what happens. This is still over there. Okay, same place. What's this one? Okay, that's the very end of our key. But this guy, ESP, that's the top of the stack. It's going to point the same thing. And then this guy, it's one thing that we haven't taken a look at yet. It doesn't look too interesting. But we are about to put into EDI EBP minus 88. And let's let it do that. And looks like that was just our key, of course. And let's see here. ECX, clear EAX, add 4, and compare. Now, what is this? Is this something that we have somewhere? Looks like it's an EBX. Let's follow that and dump. Okay. That looks like an H. And it's going to check that against what's in AL for a while. Let's see here. Throughout the whole key. So it's looking for an H. Why an H? I don't know, but who cares? And it's going to do that, and compares that with 17. Well, we got 18. And it wasn't really looking for an H. It was looking for what was in AL. Just a bit of a misspeak there. So we're one too long. We're going to see what happens, because we know now that this is going to jump out of all this stuff, and Lordy only knows what it's going to do. Let's see here. We'll hit enter to follow it. Entered incorrect serial. Okay. So what we're going to do is put a mark there and there. We're going to hit run, and we're going to get that message. We're going to erase a 4 and hit OK. So now we know that it's going to be the right size. You got the kitties? There we go. Let's go to the next one. Next one. Next one. Okay, we got 17. And look, now we're not going to jump. So CL, byte that's at some local variable, EVP minus 83. F7. Okay, so CL now contains 3.1. Right?
Could you go get the tablet off of the Tahoe?
Yeah, I will. Give me just a couple seconds. By the time you go sit down, I'll be out there to go get it. Okay, let me finish my thought here. Alright, so we're going to be comparing some things with other things, and right now we've moved into CL. Now we're going to write AL to somewhere, and then let's follow that through. Moves AL to D, compares CL and AL. Now 2D, of course, is going to be a period. Oh, good. Do you want to color? Yeah, it's okay. I'll go get the tablet too. Okay, so for whatever reason, we're comparing against a, not a period, but a dash, and we're looking for a 1. Or ours contains a 1, so it's not going to jump. Or it is going to jump, because it doesn't match. So likely it's going to be looking for the dashes for some size reason. And I will be right back. Stay.
Hit the gate button there, connect the dots.
Yeah.
Hey, how come my teacher gave this to me?
I don't know. You can go do it.
I don't know what it
Let me
is.
look at it. Yeah, let's go out there. we? I don't know really, but that's okay. So, sorry about that. Let's, hello, oh, Michael Newbie. Okay, so we were looking at the comparison of our key now. So we're kind of going to skip over most of this because I don't really care too much about it at this point yet. We did just jump out of there via a return. Let's see if it ever comes back. It does. So what I did there was just double click to set a breakpoint and then hit F9 to run. Essentially this call went to another call and eventually came back around. So we're going to see what we got here. So we got the first octet, I'm going to call it, or set of numbers, and the 1. And now it's going to feed that in through something else. And of course it's going to do the same thing. So let's see if it comes back around. Let's do an F9. It does. So what's next? We're going to hit F7, see what it does again. Okay. So it's perpetually taking one more than what was there past the whatcha-jigger. Okay, and this is interesting. What is it? Let's find out. Okay, not a whole lot. But here we go. Let's hit F7. Then I'm going to skip that, put a breakpoint, and hit F9 right now. Okay, we've come back around. We've got more information. Got this here. Let's follow that. All right, we got 34-12. Fair enough. Let's do it again. See another call. Go here. F9. Okay, 4-123. Follow that guy. Okay, not a whole lot of interest just yet. This 8 looks a little strange. Not sure what it's from, but okay. Now, what happens here? Add ESP30. Move into this location, a random 0. Seems rather strange. Follow and dump memory address. So it's going to put a 0 right here. And that's going to make that a string. So now it's a string of, well, if it's referenced here all the way forward. Uh-oh, what happened? No. There you go. Wow, good job. Yeah, you are. It's playing flow free. Or free flow. I forget what it's called, but she's already on level 10. Just handed it to her. Wow. It's crazy. Alright, so just like her dad, she's a genius. So now we see that there's 97. And let's see what sort of string this is going to create for us. Okay, so 234-1. Okay, and then this one's going to be the interesting one. It's EDI, which is just a 0, of course. What happened? Another ad? Jeez. Just going to need to buy the game so the ads stop popping up, I guess. That's how they get you. There you go. That's how they get you. Following the dump, memory address. Oh, that one's a little bit different. Alright, well, let's see what happens here. We're going to clear out ESI. We're going to compare ESI with 5. Oh, wait a minute. What? What? Initially, that would make sense, but you got to think about it a little bit backwards here. So, of course, this isn't going to ever pass, but you notice that it's a landing and that we come back to it. We're about to enter a loop of some kind that's going to do some stuff. And that number there, 5, 24, let's see here. 5 is going to be important. 24 doesn't seem like it's going to be that important, but 5 definitely is going to be So let's see here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 characters past that one. So now we know that our serial probably needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give us the same length overall, and it will satisfy that 5. So right now we're going to be going into that. Another one?
Okay, which one?
So next level.
Okay.
Good job. And then come here. Come here. When it does this stuff, just hit the X. There it goes. Alright, so it's going to do a few things 5 times, one for each of them. Compares byte at some random address, which is EAX plus this offset with DL. Now DL, we know, is containing 1-41. 1-41. We don't have that anywhere in ours. So where did that come from? Right, this is backwards. It's 4-1. 4-1, but it still doesn't make sense. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm looking at it funny. But let's take a look here at where that DL came from. ESI plus EVP plus 3C. So that's EVP plus 3C. Let's go to EBP. And let's double click here and go to minus 3C. It's going to be right here. And we see we've got 34-12. 3C gives us 1, 2, 3, 4 dash. 2C 4-1, 2, 3. Very interesting. So what are we comparing it with? Following dump, memory address. Okay, interesting. So we're comparing it with what looks like its location in this string. All right, well, that seems like something we probably want to go edit, copy as table, notepad, and paste just for later. We can get rid of this and this. Did you get another ad? Oh, it's Little Joe. What? You're hungry? You're hungry? Oh, you want a sandwich now? Okay, jeez. All right. What? That's Daddy, yep. All right, everybody. Think about what I've talked about, and I'm going to leave you with some homework. Fire up Ollie and go to search for names. Now, we were talking about message boxes and how to find them. There's another easier way. You find message box in the list. MNOPQR. There we go. Message box A and message box W. Open something in Ollie while I'm gone that has a message box. See if you can find that message box. And this is going to show you that the call exists. To find where they're at, you right click, find references. It's going to scan through and find anywhere that references a message box. And there you go. So go tear something apart. I really wonder if anyone will be able to fix this kernel issue without significantly harming the performance. I'm concerned. We'll take a look. We'll see what we can figure out. But I'll be right back. Do your homework if you want. If you want to learn how to find message boxes and you're not sure how to yet, do that. Anyone have a clue about stopping breakpoints from get to count when trying to follow a packet send function? Ooh. Do you mean preventing breakpoints from get to count? Be right back. hope you enjoyed the break. That's the thing. Oh, okay. Correct. Like filtering them out almost. Why are you placing breakpoints? Right. That's the thing. I'm not. Ollie just breaks on error. Okay. So what you need to do, I'll show you. Would it be easier to directly find the implemented send packet function? Yes. It would be. Setting a breakpoint on WSA32 to try and reverse pass. Oh, okay. So you're looking for the send packet function so you can make your life easier. Got it. What you should do is it breaking or are you getting an exception? If you're getting a little note down here that says exception and it's causing it to pause, what you want to do is go into debug. No, it's in options. Sorry. And debugging under options. And inside debugging, you're going to need to fiddle around with stuff. Some things here, specifically exceptions. Typically, mine will look like this. Add range. 8 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, and 8 Fs. Yep. And there you go. So then from there, if it's an exception that's causing like a interrupt or a break, then configuring it to ignore those, it will continue and filter those out. What do you need a different debugger for? You can add that to Ollie, just like if AMD. Okay, yes. If you are on 64-bit, then Ollie doesn't work because the Ollie 64 project, I don't know. It was there for a minute. It's gone. Now it's what's it called? X64 debug. I have it. It's essentially Ollie, but with some more stuff, and it works good. And yeah, it would be a lot more zeros and a lot more Fs. Essentially double. Ollie is old. I agree. But sometimes it's hard to give up bad habits. No. In all honesty, I'll use whatever I know is going to work. If it's 32-bit program, I use Ollie because I've always used Ollie for 32. If it's static or something I don't want to run, then I'll use IDA. Or if it's something 64-bit, a lot of times I'll use IDA. And if it's something I need the real-time debugging, then we're going to be looking into WinDebug, I think is what it's called. We someday start a series with IDA. Yeah, someday. The problem is usually I can accomplish anything that I would do in IDA in Ollie or WinDebug, and the reason I like is because I think backwards and inside out. I'll find a point and then I'll extrapolate outward, and then I'll come in closing towards a common goal. With IDA, it's kind of harder for me to do that because it's more like following chains. I don't know. It works. It's just not visually appealing to me, I guess. All right, where were we at? Initially we're looking for message boxes. Showed you a couple ways to find that. And that came from a comment on one of my videos here recently and said, hey, is there a way to go to Messagebox? Well, of course, you can go to anything. Right, we were seeing what this was doing at the compare. So it's comparing a byte in this here string versus DL. Well, it's the first byte, I suppose, which would, is that a 2? No, it's a 1. It's a Y, right? So we're actually here because it's base address plus 1, so now we're at Y. And it's going to see if Y is equal to what ours came out as, which ours is a 1, and of course it's not going to be correct. And it's going to jump out, increment EAX, so now we're moving that, and we're going to check it for the next character, which is a O, and eventually we're going to get down to 1 here, and we will land here. There we go. Let's do that, and what we'll see is that EAX is likely going to become a value that is important to us. I mean, EAX is always important. It's the return. Well, why would you need to log into a Windows box? Reverse engineering on Linux is just as easy. And there you don't have to worry about ring 3, ring 0. Right. Can't play the game. Wow. What game is it? Oh, of course you could. You just have to use wine, but that's okay. Let's see here, Diablo. Where is... There it is. Give me a second. What's your interest in the send receive function in Diablo 2? You gonna like rewrite a multiplayer or something, or what's your ideas? What's your thought process? I'm interested. Talk to me. Diablo 2. Okay, complete edition. Let's just go ahead and download that. I could, but that requires more effort than this whole login. Oh, right. Just trying to learn beginner in the whole. All right. So you're just wanting to challenge yourself with finding that in that game. I like it. And I tell you what, I'm going to download it now. And when it's done, we'll take a look. Because you know what might be even more fun? I had another question on the channel here about using cheat engine for some specific thing, and we might be able to track that down using cheat engine. And you know what's cool about cheat engine? It has 32 and 64-bit, and you can do direct hex and assembly, and it's actually pretty good. I won't lie, it's pretty good. What was I doing? I feel like we're off topic here. Right. So let's skip all this and see where we get kicked out. Most likely we're going to end up here because we don't jump over it. So let's do that. And is there any other way to land here? Yep, right here. So we want to make sure we somehow get out of that. Yeah, very true. If you really want to challenge yourself, it's too bad crackme's.de is like no longer a thing anymore. But I did download the entire mirror before it disappeared. So I have everything that was on there, and there is one crackme that I put up several years ago that uses self-mutating code within the key and name that you put in to decrypt portions of itself, and being able to go through it depends on whether or not it decrypted properly. That's all you have to go off of. Nobody's ever solved that one, at least not yet. But anyhow, have you ever thought of doing training videos from beginning or reverse engineering? I would. However, I'm really bad at assumed knowledge. Like, where do you start? What are the basics? Like, is it, hey, this is Ollie? Hey, this is a program? Hey, this is ones and zeros? Hey, hex? Where do you start? Like, what is beginner, intermediate, advanced? I've been thinking of how to, because originally when I first started making these videos, that's pretty much what it was. That was the whole idea was, we're going to start easy, we're going to walk through stuff, people will be able to learn from it. But what I found was people would immediately start asking for how to do the exact same thing I've covered in like 3 videos. I'm like, okay, I'm not getting through to these people. Let's go more basic. Let's teach some assembly. All right, here's some assembly. Here's how you write assembly and do logic in assembly. And then people are like, I don't get it. I'm like, man, so figuring out the starting point and the timeline and how long you need to spend on each topic before moving to the next is my big challenge. So if you have ideas, let me know. Yeah, that is good. I like it. Back to my download here real quick because I kind of forgot about it. Yeah, we'll do that. Paste. Okay, and back to this. So eventually we're going to land here. We can get there from here or by not jumping here. So we want to make sure that we go through this. We want to end up here. No, we don't. We want to end up here. Yeah. We got to end up here so that we can jump through here, and that's going to be from here. And we want to make sure we don't go over that anyway. So right now I'm clicking on each of the jump landings between our 2 points to make sure none of them come from above. Okay, it's good, it's good. Looks like we will land here eventually. And that one comes from within a loop. Let's run this and see. Okay, was I above that? Yeah, we're well above that. 24, cool, cool. All right, so we are now at the jump. And was this one that we needed to take? Yes. Now you see that we're not going to take it because ESI is less than or equal to 5. Yeah, so ESI needed to be 5 or greater, and then it would jump. So we're going to set it to 5. And rerun the compare by moving our origin back, F7. Now we see it's going to jump. Download, there we go. I feel like anyone watching this video should know the basics of computer engineering, like neural systems, know how a CPU works and what different archetypes are out there. I'll look into it. I think you could make good money from CDs. CDs? Like, what do you mean CDs? You mean like compact discs? I'm just starting to think maybe you're at least as old as me and know what a CD is. I've actually, funny thing, let me see if I've got it right here. I do. So when I was 10 or 11, Photoshop has them, yeah. When I was 10 or 11, I wanted to learn how to program, and I begged my father to buy me this, and he did. This is CD Learning, and it was for C and C++. Now you see it, and doing it in C++. CDs. Did you ever cracked IDM before? No, I've never cracked it before. I've never looked at it before. It just popped in today. I had to Google what IDM was just to figure out that it meant Internet Download Manager, because who uses this crap? Let's see here. Packets encrypted and later on decrypted kind of probably. Determining how to think backwards, for example, without reading it up about how packets are sent, etc. I would have had no clue. Look into a library that handles right. Why would I need a breakpoint timer? I feel like I won't need any of this, but we'll see. The trick to thinking backwards is assume nothing. Look for things that, for example, you started with the WSA Now, did you find that, or did you have to, or did you read up on that? And you have 20 CRC check after 20 seconds. Well, let's see. Don't spoil. Yeah, don't give me no heads up. So let's see what happens here. Now that we're jumping out, we're going to move into there. A 1. We're going to test it, and we're going to jump if it is 0. It's obviously not 0, but what did we move into there? Okay, so this typically we would want a breakpoint hardware and go from there, but we're gonna look a little bit different here. Instead of letting this run, we'll get pirated serial after registration. Well, let's see what happens. Because ultimately, the way I think about it is a program has a function, and the difference between full and trial and locked and unlocked is whether or not that function can be continued to be completed. So at some point in here, you can always go a step further back. If we get invalid serial, you bypass invalid serial. If you get pirate serial, you bypass pirate serial. The goal is to shut down anything that would prevent the functionality of the program. Now, if we want to go into creating key gens and actually looking into the math and how the algorithm works, then yes, you're right. We would have to dive in to actually do that. But if all we're interested in is learning the mechanics of how it works and what steps it would take to get us just to get to functionality, then you would go and dive into, once you have that, then you would dive into, okay, how do we make a key gen out of this? How do we go one step further, and instead of bypass each step, how do we programmatically? And that's where you're right. We would have to go a lot deeper. But again, we are looking at what the program is doing in order to try to get us to not be able to use that functionality. Of course, keygen is always a good idea because then there's future support. If there's an update, things like that, that functionality can then continue. Excuse me. But let's see what else we can do. Did you use IDA Pro? Nope. Right? Exactly. And that's where IDA would come in pretty handy, using hex arrays. And that's why here, going back through just obtaining functionality, I'm not interested in reading line by line how the program is calculating all this stuff. No, that takes way more time than I care to put into Internet Download Manager. Okay, but there's some things that we can learn here. So we're not jumping here because this isn't 0, and it's not 0 because we have a 1 in this. So let's change this over to a 0 and new origin here. And now we're going to jump. Now let's see what happens. Do we see? Okay, we have another one here. We want to make sure that we land here. And the only way to do it is here. This goes in to somewhere we don't want to go, so we don't want to go there. That does as well. We're okay there, okay there. Anything else? I mean, we could click here and see. Now, we know that this needs to go over. So we want to end up here. And the only way to end up here is if we land here. So we don't want to miss those. Because, well, we do want to take this. We'll see. Right. And that's the other thing, James. Like, you can get the free IDA and do 90% of it. And you can typically get the older version. But to buy it legit, yeah, it's kind of spendy, I'll say. So this goes past that jump. that jump. Okay, so we know that we likely don't want to land here. This is going to be doing some, I think we do need to end up in here. I know you're doing this for at all, but have you gotten into any projects as in cracking lately where you were willing to share your experience with us? I'm curious. What do you mean? Like lately, like things that I've cracked that I'd tell you the story about, like how it went or like what it was, or? Okay, so we're going through that jump, that's fine. And we're not going through this one, which we are jumping, but things that you reverse basically, not necessarily cracking. Got it. Yeah. If you know where you want to land, can you just put your own jump command in to go right where you? Yeah, you can. And essentially, once we figure this out, we can do that. We go to the very top and be like, hey, just go right here every time. Kind of getting ahead there. Geez, this guy. Good. I like that you're thinking. Recently, the only things that I've done would be just some boring stuff, like take old software and add stuff to it. Can't you jump to the wrong place? You could. That's why you gotta figure out where you want to go first. And or do you mean something different? So we know that we want to take this and EDI. Where did EDI get loaded? Movie AX EDI. Boy. Yeah. You could go at your own space and run custom code, i.e. adding functionality to very old software. Damn companies that want to keep using their old software instead of just paying someone to make them a new one. So we're going to do that to make sure that we don't jump to there. And it's going to move to AL, the byte that is at EBP minus 11. Now if we go to EBP minus 11, it's going to be an A7. Not all programs have comments like you have here. Comments? What comments? That? These are not comments. These are strings. Where do we see comments? Like sometimes it will say comment over here. I don't know. Anyways, let's continue on. Why don't you use x64 debug? I'll use it. Scroll back a few minutes if you can. Do I have? I don't think I have DVR mode on. I tried to turn it on, the damn thing wouldn't let me. But yeah, memcopy's got it because Ollie works. Why use something else? I mean, I do use x64 debug when I need to, but if I don't need to, why? Alright, so it'll getting something in there, it's a 1, and jump of 0. Of course, that's not going to happen, so let's go to it in the dump, and let's change it to a 0. And let's come back here, do that again, and now we see that we are going to jump. Cool. And now, at this point, it's going to just accept our key, essentially. And it looks like it's going to create a registry key. And is there, what happens if we just run it from here? Let's hit F9. Please wait. Now it's fast procs. That looked like a cool library. What is this say? Internet Download Manager has been registered with a counterfeit serial number, or the serial number has been blocked. IDM is exiting. Now, you know what's cool about this? We can hit pause. We can go to debug, execute till user code. And then let's go back into it and click OK. Ta-da, here we are. So, your license for internet has stopped working, downloads are counterfeit, all this crap. So, we dig in further. We got a counterfeit. Because, well, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. It wasn't even the right format. It wants 5, numbers before a dash. I learned the reversing on it. Lena 151 tutorials. That sounds familiar. I'm sure I've watched a few of them. So we ended up landing here, and we can get there from a number of places. Get desktop window. That looks weird. Oh, secure internet download manager. Blocked serial info. Did it load that up? Did it really? That'd be awesome. I didn't see it anywhere. No, I still don't see it anywhere. But let's see. How did it get that information? How does it know that it's counterfeit or blocked? Did it reach out to the webs? Because if that were the case, you could always simulate a server, local side, tell it to ask your own server, oh, it's good. I've seen that. You've seen that. Everybody's seen that. Adobe products years back before it got better. Before people. So here's how it works. Bam, somebody makes a crack. It gets it out there. People get it. Then next, boom, somebody creates a crack with a server and a host block. It works even a little bit better, and you can do updates. And then somebody, boom, now at this point has put in enough time to have created a keygen because they've been able to, hold off the masses wanting something out now, and then put in the work to do it further. It used the kernel exploit, took a screenshot of you reversing the program and said, yes, exactly. Yeah. Oh, I love it. You're a good man. This error is possible. I use several computers. Okay, so it looks like this entire function that we're looking at is to let us know that you done goofed. Does this jump over the whole thing? Yeah, it does. No message box, no nothing. What about this guy here? Does it? Oh, look at that. It's a calculated jump. Ooh, it's very, very, very calculated. It would tell you if you are going to land here or somewhere else based off of a value placed in EAX. Okay, you understand now, right? Right. Okay. So essentially this breakpoint right here. And let's follow this return because we could probably just skip the whole damn thing. Here's our return. Came out of here. Oh, what's that? I don't know. But we might be able to skip the whole damn thing. F7, F7. Now this is going to say jump if equal. And I bet inside here is a call to exit process. Or something of the sort. Yep. WM close. Bam. So if we don't want our program to exit like it told us, it promised us that it's going to exit. No. We'll say it's 0. There you go. We'll change that Z bit, and we're just not going to do that. We're going to skip that. We're going to see what happens now when we run it. And we see that it just doesn't care. It didn't exit. Registration. It's registered, so it's counterfeit. And all we had to do was tell it not to, or tell it to jump here. Let me go back to where I'm at. Okay, we were here when I ran it. I told it to jump over this. So we want to always jump here. JMP. Okay, that's cool. And what did we do here? Did we do anything? We didn't do anything. Well, that was easy, right? Essentially, you work forward by thinking backwards. And anytime you run into a roadblock, just think, okay, where did this roadblock come from? And go backwards another step. Now a 1 byte patch. Kind of. So that 1 byte will get us past the counterfeit message. But where did the counterfeit message come from? Let's go. So here's a return. It came from this call here, and this would bypass it. So we wouldn't even need this byte, because this byte, if we jump every time, will go to where we need it to. So undo. Now that came from here. We landed here. Is there a way to get here? Let's do this. Okay. So we're not going to exit. We're always going to jump. And what brought us here? Looks like 2 locations. So we'll go back one more step here. You have left. Oh, now we found the trial routine. So if we wanted to just make it a perpetual trial, we would just start here. Skip that whole function. Let's look at this one. Okay, so this is. Oops. My bad. I forgot. You got to double click these things. There we go. So post message to some window, and it looks like we're calling something. Looks oddly like fill registration form .html. Looks oddly like something that might be giving us back some type of information, whether the key was real or not. Who knows? But we know that ultimately we will need this one byte patched. So let's copy that to the executable. Escape, yes. Save. Already exists. Do you want to overwrite? Oh no, yes. And then we're going to rewind this whole thing. And I'm willing to bet that since it actually wrote into the registry, it's going to still think that it is complete. And of course, if you were to change just that one byte, it wouldn't work because we had to manually bypass a couple things along the way to get there. That's right. You know the funny thing about Ollie, if you overwrite a executable, it will automatically make a .bak of the original. So no harm, no foul. Because at the point that it's writing it, it's technically still running. Warning, you're running this with administrative privileges. Okay. Close. Registration. We see it's still not registered. Now watch, it closes after 20 seconds. Now, if that were the case, which it can't do anymore, because we told it that it can never jump to its WM closed called from inside, we would just dig a little bit deeper. But right now, it still thinks we're in trial mode, right? We haven't registered anything because we manually bypassed the key stuff on the way there. But now we'll go iteration number 2 and work our way backwards until we get to the same place every time. Billy@bob.com. And this time we're going to take the information that we learned and put in a key like that. Okay, so, and what we're going to do is we're going to remove the breakpoints that we know that we don't need anymore. And let's do this. Properties, open file location. And I'll show you idman.exe and here idman.back. So when you're overwriting, really, it's not a problem. Don't be scared, overwrite. In Ollie, at least. Okay, had to clear my throat there, so I muted you for a second. Learned that one at work. I'm on the phone. Gotta hit mute. Unmute. Yeah, no, it's great. Okay, so do we need this breakpoint? What is it doing? I don't think we need it. Let's hit run. Do we need this breakpoint? Well, we're jumping over it, so as long as we're putting in something that's relatively close, then we won't need it. But we know we don't need it if we go JMP. But I don't want to do that right now. I want to start at the very bottom and come back up. So we're not going to do that. But we know that we don't necessarily need it as long as we put something in that's that long. Next, we don't need this breakpoint. Pretty sure. Do we need that? No, we don't. Let's hit this. I know we don't need that, but do we need this next jump? Okay, jump is not taken. Where does that one go? Incorrect serial number. So we won't need that ever. And what we'll do, okay, minus, plus, fine. Jesus, I'm lost. Minus one more time. There we go. What we're going to end up doing there is a simple NOP. Oops. So now it will never jump because we won't want it to jump. But for now, since we're not jumping, we don't care. We may need it, but right now we don't. We're going to hit F9. We definitely don't need that. F9. Definitely don't need that. F9. Don't need it. F9. Still don't need it. Next, F9 or run. In case you're confused as to what the hell F9 does, it means run. Run. Okay, now this jump. Do we need to take it or not? It is currently not taken, and we're going to go in here and likely jump out here. And do we have any other fate? We're going to always be coming back to here, and we are going to want to come out to here. So, at some point, yes, we have to get to here, which this is our kind of gives us a chance to get there. So let's see, do we ever land here, which is this, or do we ever land here, which is this, which I am 100% certain that we would essentially just need to just jump, but we're not yet at the bottom of the chain. So now we're going to hit a run. And we see that we're here. We're not jumping, though, so that's fine. We're going to run it again. We're not jumping, not jumping, not jumping, not jumping, not jumping. You get the idea. Oh, that time we jumped. And we jumped to the right place. But what happens next? Test AL, and we're jumping. So it's not thinking that it's incorrect just because it fits the format. So again, these are things that we might need to check out, which this would be. Now we can add comments, add label. Always jump. There we go, comment, always jump. My bad, don't need a label. Which will always take us to here, and this would also be always jump. And the last one that we had, which is never jump, because it takes us right to never jump. What? Your tummy? Where's your cuppy? Where's your cup? Let's go find it. I'll be right back, guys. All right, so let her have two, yeah? You know it. She is two. All right, so where were we at? We're at a never jump, always jump, always jump. Cool, whatever, we don't care. This is going to jump. It thinks we're legit. And let's hit F9. This guy. You've entered an incorrect serial, so why? EDX. Essentially, we would go never jump. Now, these are kind of probably more than what we need because we could probably get here another way, but that's okay. never jump, F7. Oops, what happened there? Oh, I forgot to tell it not to jump. New origin here, never jump, so nope. Nope, nope jump. Okay, so F7, test. Okay, it's not jumping here. Doesn't mean that it wouldn't. Say we put in a key that didn't fit. What? You want water? You want soda? Okay. It's kind of late for soda. I'll be right back. Just make first jump to good boy. You're absolutely right, and that's why we work backwards. Hey Jojo, what are you doing the show? There you go. Here's your cup of soda. Alright. Okay. There's new origin here. Okay, so booting into Windows, it doesn't seem to be an exception. It says int3 breakpoint at game. Yeah, just add that to the exceptions list. Or tell it to ignore int3 breakpoints. Options. Ignore past debugging int3 breaks. Check that box. Okay. Each time trying to run a game, it will immediately break again. That's because old game int3 may have been used for something. Or anti-debugging. Does new origin here in Ollie essentially? Yes, that's exactly what it does. New origin here sets the execution point. Bam. Bam. So we're not jumping here. And again, we're not going to change this. You called me out. So we're not actually going to be changing that. Never jump. And this we want to never jump. And F7. Move AL some byte. Of course, we could just say, set AL to 1, but we don't care. Test AL, and here it does need to jump. We need to go here, and that is going to be where we need to get. So we are going to go edit, copy address, and we're going to set the origin here as if we jumped to here. There's the button. And let's see here. If he's on x64, he will have a problem with breakpoints. Need to download. It's Diablo 2. Definitely not a 64-bit. That's cool. Wonder why CE never had this option, as in a context menu, right? Yeah, and I know that there's a hotkey for it too, but I always forget what it is. It's Control Gray Star. What does that mean? Gray star. Is that numpad? Yes, it is. Numpad star. Okay, now where was I at? We needed to take that and land here. Gray star. I'm guessing the star on the numpad used to always be gray, or maybe gray means num somewhere. I don't know. Deutschland. Cat, knock it off. Okay, so we're here as if we jumped here. We're going to hit run. Please waiting. Cat. Knock it off. Just going to have a sip of my coffee here. Yeah, got that from work. It's pretty awesome. Cheat engine. Yeah. Let's see. She just hit me. I'm like, oh, he's talking about cheat engine. I get it. I understand now. Okay, so now we are at our one modification that tells us, hey, this is not legit and you're going to get in trouble and stuff. But instead, we're going to jump over it every time. And we see registration registered, right? Now let's see if it crashes. But awesome. I like it. So now let's go to our very first spot that we were at that said always jump, which I think is this one. I think that is the very first one. Nope, never jump. You know what we could do? We could probably find references to selected commands, see if this is ever called directly. It's not. It's probably somewhere right in the middle somewhere. That tends to be how they do it. Yeah, if you are using Ollie, ignoring N3 breakpoints is definitely something you'll probably need for anything pre-2000. Okay, so that's what I did, which led me to game send function. Hey, good job. A little bit of learning, a little bit of putting your heads together, and everybody just, it works out. So I have on the clipboard, I know I do, of course we didn't need this, the address of where we need to get. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart. Okay. And we're going to run, but that's where I have the issues. Oh. So now that you're in the function, is it still breaking now? Yeah, I was going to say, on that function, right-click and do search for find references to selected command, and you'll get a list that looks like this, any place that calls it, if it is called from anywhere. Let me find one that actually has it. There we go. Find references to selected command. There you go. You'll get a list of all the places that call that command and what the arguments, if they are available, are. Yes. Okay, so now we want to run. We have the address that we need to get to. And essentially, there's two places that we're going to need to check. Now, this is what I wanted to see because I just restarted the program, and it says it's counterfeit. But did I make any changes? Not that I know of. So we're going to pause, and this. VM Protect or Denuvo. VM Protect, yes. Denuvo, I have not heard of. Pause and execute tell user code. Okay. You can also use execute tell return if you need. If you don't need, then execute tell user code works great every time. So this jump, we landed here for some reason, and it was from this guy here. So instead of doing, well, was it this guy? Is that what it was? No. Okay, we landed here. Your license right here. And yes, it was from the calculated one here. So what we want to do is essentially go to the one that is just the correct one. Has expired, please not as license, blah, blah, blah. How many places are there that can jump to? Essentially, we want to go to the bottom of them. But what I'm going to try is just to put in that one spot. There we go. It's been blocked. Landed from here. Put in this a jump to. Wait a minute. What does this go to? Aha. Aha. So let's put a breakpoint here and restart. See what happens actually. Do you have materials for VM Protect that you can pass me? Maybe. I know that that's a vague answer, but maybe. There's a cat playing on the steps. Okay, so we land here. It's not going to do that jump because EAX is not OC. It's actually a 3. So it's going to mathematically put us on this spot here. Reversing tips, breakpoint, Messagebox, EAX, A, load library A, get file A. Right. Those are good things to think of. Also, get item, text, crap like that. Calls out like download file A or anything that's accessing the internet, stuff like that. So essentially, we need to be OC instead of move EAX blah. We'll set this to OC. Oh my goodness. Close. Wait, what is JA? Let me see here. Above. I'm pretty sure that that's probably where we want to go. Let's see. JZ. Or A, sorry. Wait, what the fuck? What in the hell? I'm having a brain fart right now. If C is 0 and Z is 0. Oh, got it. But that makes sense. Okay, let's see what happens. OXOC. Right, so it was complaining that there wasn't going to be enough room to put the command because I was trying to put it somewhere that it was smaller. Here, I'll show you. So right here is where I was trying to put it, and that's only 3 bytes, whereas what I wanted to put in would take up much more space than that, and since I have keep size turned on right now, it prevented it. That's what that is. Not something wrong with the command itself, but I didn't want to do that until after we knew that this was what we wanted to do. So F7, now we're not going to take this jump, but what does that jump take us to? That takes us to this, and then we have a jump over it. Okay, so we know that 005 is a ways out. We may need to do this here. You can try to test that routine where it goes before reversing, and you will know what to patch, right? Okay, so we didn't jump here, which is probably a good thing. Let's see where we do end up. Let's hit F9. Just run. Okay, so it's asking us to register, and that's good because what that means is we can come all the way back up to our very first guy right here and put JMP, I think. I'm going to try this. Let me do a restart, a reboot, restart. Process still running? Yeah, I don't care. And I think we should be able to jump right to this address from there, and it's just going to register and call it good. So we'll hit run. If our backwards thinking has been successful. If not, I'm going to miss it by a couple miles. I don't need to keep size, but it doesn't matter anyways. And let's run. Let's see. That's fine. And our patch should keep it from ending. Okay. Ah, Jesus. Cancel. Oh, I did JA. Dang it. Did I not change that jump? No, I didn't. Son of a monkey. Why didn't you guys call me on that? No, just kidding. Okay, restart. Run. Not F10, F9. And if you're on Windows 10 and you have an NVIDIA graphics card and you want to use the hotkey Alt F9, guess what? You can't. You'll get this. Yay. Got to go in and turn that off, but I haven't been able to do that just yet. Hey, play nice with the kitten. Okay, so not JA, but JMP. JMP. I thought I typed this. Did I not type that? I'm pretty sure I did, but I guess I didn't. Let's run now. Not view. Run. Missed it by a couple miles. So, that annoying screen that comes up. We can't skip it that quick, but almost. So this is the good after register button. And essentially, we want to take this jump, C0 and Z0. There you go. So we want to take that jump. We're going to get past it. We're going to run. And this is where we're going to land. Okay, I don't care about that. Okay, close, registration here. Ah, interesting. This time, it wasn't in there. Billy Bob. Billy@bob.com. It's 5 a.m. here. What am I doing? I can't stop watching. Hopefully you don't have to work. It's 8 p.m. I'll probably be up on here for about 1 more hour. So, if that rests your mind any, that's about 1 more hour, because then I got to put these girls to bed. I got school in the morning. Well, one of them's got school in the morning. So that one's going to be jumped. Cool. That one's not going to jump. That's fine. Always jump. It's not jumping. So here we're going to do JMP to this guy for now. I could, of course, do it at any spot in the chain. Would probably most likely do it at the top. Or we're going to jump right to the good. And, of course, going to say, please wait. Now that's commitment. Only 2 p.m. here. Right? Here, too. I'm trying not to sleep. You guys are awesome. So now we're registered, and that worked. But what I want to do, yeah, let's go ahead and we're going to go back to the very first one. Was it this guy here? Yeah. So here we want to do jump to here. And let's test that after we do a reset. So I'm not going to write that. So right now, it should give us that nag screen that we got last time. And that's what we're looking for, because inevitably we're going to end up there. So right now we're not jumping, and the nag screen is going to come from here. Hi. And so we don't want to be here. We do want to go here. And that's going to take us to right here. You on West Coast? Yep. Oregon. And then this guy will take us here. And this needs to jump all the time. We know that. Which is going to be here. Jump is not equal. So we ultimately are going to need to end up here.
Daddy?
Yeah.
Daddy?
And not jumping over this. Need chaff RB. All right, that's an interesting name. Go to a calculated jump and select EAX. What's going on? Go to calculated jump and select EAX. EAX is 3. Why do we need to select EAX? Calculated jump. EAX is 3. Are you saying use that? Oh, right. Use that to see where it would go. Yeah, that works. I like it. And set it to OC, right? OC. OC doesn't give us anything, but OB does. And OB takes us to, well, right here. I wish there was a Discord or something for people that love. I mean, we could start that. You guys want to start a Discord? I'm all for popping in there. Start it. I got Discord running right now. probably some underground. Yeah, there are some. You would probably get sick of it. Nah. That's the beauty of it, is questions, answers. Okay, so let's come on back to reality here. Now, instead of using the calculated jump, I'm thinking this one here skips all the bad shit anyways. Because with OB in EAX, it's going to give us that same spot. See? So, and then what we are up against is, do we need to jump here or not? Because then it's going to bypass all that and land here. We all started from some point. I'm a VIP at Crackwatch Discord. Nice. We all started. That's right. So we don't need that. We're going to be here. This brings us on back to here, which would then potentially bring us back here. Now, ultimately, we're going to want to end up here. And we can do that by jumping to here. And that's going to be the same as taking this, right? Right, taking that, and instead of going to there, because then that goes here, which goes over that, which comes back up, goes over to here, we want to land here, right? To say I'll go over, well, essentially it'll be here. Query value, create key. Well, I'm not even saying. There's no such thing as the bottom. I found an exploit for origin DRM. Origin DRM. Nice. I found an exploit to bypass the security question on origin to crack any game greater than 2017. I don't believe it, because most of them are also on GOG. So I guess the biggest question here is, do we need to land here and run through this, or do we need to land here? Previous to 7. Okay. Either way, I'd believe it. FLV, MP4, okay. So, what we want to do is follow that one more time. That brings us here. We know that we can take this just fine as long as we take this. So it looks to me like we need to land right here. The cat is watching. Oh no! That's Henry. Henry the cat. Come here, Henry. Come here. Come here. There you go, Henry. Thank you. Oh, where are you going? Ow. Okay, fine. Yeah, he's camera shy. Usually he just sits there. Okay, so we want to land here. I'm gonna do copy address, and we're gonna hard code that very first one we come to, and we're gonna see what happens with that, because right now I'm not really thinking, and let's see what it does. Wubble up dub dub, right? Made a quick Discord with that as tail end of usual invite links. Can't send. Right. You might be able to. I don't think I have anything preventing links, but bear with me. General. All right. So, welcome aboard.
This is sort of like Inception, isn't it? I can hear you in both stream and on Discord.
Right on, right on. Radical Raccoon. It's Rocky the Raccoon. All right, so I'm here, and let's run this and see what if it ends badly for us or not. I should probably click on Ollie and then try running it. F7. And wait a minute here. I did it again. Why didn't you guys catch it? JMP. Damn it. JMP. Jump, jump, jump. All right. New origin here, which we learned is, was it Alt and numstar? No, it's Control and numstar. Don't fuck that one up. All right, so F7. We've jumped. We've landed here. Is it going to end in catastrophe? Don't really know. Let's find out. Oh, damn it. I hit F7 on that. Well, one thing to do here. F9. And that address was this. No, that's not the address. Oops, oops. Oh, boy. We're losing all of our notes now. Okay. $100 fake serial number. Be aware the cat crack. Jesus, these guys, so many nag screens. Okay, so what was that address? It was this guy right here. Edit, copy address. Good after first nag. All right, there we go. So, love the dedication that went into the nag, right? That's the 20-second check. Well, we're gonna find the bear, into that 20-second check. We're gonna hit pause, and then we're not gonna do Alt F9 because my hotkeys are broken. But we're gonna do debug, and we're gonna hit execute till you use code. All right, now it's executing until we click OK. We click OK, and bang! Here we are again. So, how did we get here? I remember that I used some. Yeah, set timer or kill timer. Yeah, probably. Alright, so button clicked, Messagebox was from here, and there's no sign of how we got here, but what the hell is that? Like, seriously, what is that? It's a hard-coded string. Toolbar state. Could be a message, could be sort of all sorts of things. But I don't care about it. What we care about is how we got here and what led us to that message, which means we go up and nope, lost it. So what we're going to do is hit plus and minus. Here we are again after the message box, and this is going to send a command post message. So we're within. Okay, I see what happened here. Yeah, we're going to continue until the return, which F7 is not what I wanted to do there. We're going to control start. I'm going to properly F8 over that, not F7. Remember, kids, don't fall for the hard-coded strings, right? If you're looking to me for answers, we're all in trouble. No, I wasn't looking to anybody for answers. I was just like, what the what? Like, why? Like, does this have any significance? Probably not. I know that I've used hard-coded strings like that along with post message to send specific custom commands to fake windows before, but let's continue on here. Let's take our return jump back to where the hell we came from, and we see that it was here. This guy right here, this gave us that screen, which we can conveniently jump over by using this right here. So we're going to check that. We're going to go back, go back. Okay, here we are. And we know that, what do we know? What did I changed something in here. Or where's that? There it is. So we change this. I'm going to write these. These are going to become part of our executable. So now we have 2 patches. Covered executable. All right. Just for fun. Overwrite. And now watch. This time it's going to complain. I'm going to hit yes. Oh, it didn't. Good. It used to. If it had a back already in there, then it would complain, but whatever. So now we're going to go back. And this time it's likely just going to start up like it's normal in a trial because it's going to think that we don't have a key in registry anymore, which is totally fine. I don't care. All right, so here we are at our hard-coded jump. We're going over. And now look, we're here. We are going to jump. Okay. That's convenient, right? Where does this take us? That's, okay, well, let's see what happens. Apparently, this must be some type of message procedure. That's not going to be fun to deal with. So we may have to go a little bit deeper. Okay. Oh, look at that. Something else popped up in a different thread. Whoops. You want to see my desktop there? I guess you get to see it now. There we go. Okay. We don't care much about that, but it's starting to sound a lot more like there's a timer somewhere in a different thread. I just still complains about that. If you're looking for, okay, got it. So let's do pause, and this time instead of user code, we're going to do tell return. And yes, that could be fun, but so here's our return, and it looks a little bit different than our last return. That's okay. It's F7. That's F9. Just run this. IE frame. Oh. The kittens were in here and then they went out that way. But I think, yeah, one of them's down here. Just George. Oh, are they both down there? Well, leave them alone. They're sleeping. Oh, look at that. It opened me to Internet Download Manager Registration. Look at this. Ooh. Do you want to buy it? It says. Do you want to buy it? No, leave them alone. Okay, now, what else happened with that? Are we paused? Or are we running? Where's it at? What's happening? What's going on? Patch that timer, man. I need to... Oh, fine. Just buy the key and pretend you made it. No. Oh, Jesus. So, here's what we're going to do. Where'd it go? Where is it? There it is. Okay. And it terminated. Let's restart here. Let's search for names. Let's do this. And let's look for timers. Kill timer. Let's try that. Find references. That looks like fun. There's a 20 second. You say it's 20 seconds? Are we betting 20 seconds? Press on name. Just, well, yeah. Search for names. Kill timer. Oops. References. Well, of course there's more timers. There's lots of timers. Search for names. And we did click name and sorted. We got kill timer. We could do set timer. RS. There's always lots of timers. Set timer. Let's find some references to that one. Let's see here. 10 milliseconds, 10 seconds, 60 seconds, timer function. Ooh. Oh, that looks like quite a lot. Now, ultimately, what do we need to find out? How the program is exiting. jump over this stuff. Sure, let's do it. Here's our, with a fake serial number. Pause. Debug. Tell you your code. Okay. There we go. We got a Messagebox. We're going to control F9. We're going to hit F7. We're here, which is here. Find references to. Select command. Something that goes over it. And back. Where are we at? Here. There we go. Something else that goes over it. They're all in the same routine. Find references, selected command. Only one call to it, something that goes over it, which is here. Okay, now we're getting wider. So let's run. Of course, now it's going to tell us to go download it. We don't care about that. And it's, of course, going to kill itself. And we should have a message somewhere in here. There it is. B. What the fuck is B? Run. Something that goes over it. Is that not B? What is it? J? It is B. Damn it. It's no tricking this guy. Run. Alright, so remember this. Let's not do that. And let's go to here. So what we want to do here is move EAX. What was it? OB? Sorry, man. Can't hold it up for myself. It's okay. There we go. Okay, of course we know that it's going to ask for a registration here, but what happens if we hit cancel? And where do we go if we hit cancel? Debug, execute code, cancel. Oh. Execute, tell return, of course. Come on. Oh, I had already clicked it, damn it. Son of a bitch. Okay, that one was my bad. I had a train of thought and it left the station. OB. All right. Now we want to hit run. And here, let's just go Billy. Bob at billy.com. Yeah, it's a little backwards for those of you that have been watching. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And here, of course, it's fine. Let's remove that breakpoint. We know that it is going to work if we put something like that in. Of course, this is soft crack. Did I save that jump? I believe I did, but I'm sure you guys would call me out on it if I didn't. Apparently I didn't. Where are you at? Call me out on it here. F9. See here, always jump, and then always. Okay, this is where I put it, but I didn't save it. So here we need to go JMP to that. Did I save that last one? No, I didn't. So we want to run. Please waiting. Exec till return. The only thing I like always so much, and yeah, it's true. There's a few caveats that I just they can get annoying, to say the very least. So now we're back here. But why? And this is a different one. But you see it's the same compare. We should be fine because it's going to tell us it's counterfeit. We don't care about that. And really, we could just land $17 BP all compare. Where do you see that? Very nice. Where did you see that? You registered what's on the reverse blocked? Okay. Which one of these is the good one? This one? It's possible there's several years. No, has expired. See, we still don't care about the counterfeit because we know that it's then going to jump out to the message box. So ultimately, we just need to land here. Which is going to be, if we go here and go EAX, use a little trick. Let's scroll down and see where it needs to be. Oops. 2. Oh, needs to be 3. Okay, so EAX needs to be 3. So, before we land here, let's go move EAX 3. There we go. So we're going to do that. It's going to come down here. We're going to return. And let's run and see what happens. We terminated. Where did I go wrong with this? Like, seriously, where did I go wrong? View log. Xcode. New thread created, and then it terminates. We can do this without defeating that timer. I know we can. I just got to get back to where I was at the last bit of this. So, no, that's not what I need. Let's restart and just run. Does anybody remember where we were at? Just on the base save of everything here. Let's hit run. Run, Rudolph. All right. Okay. It was fake, so it's going to terminate. I'm guessing. Because right now it's running. you know. Okay, it's telling me that I should buy it. It hasn't exited yet, and it's running. There, right there. Do you see it? It killed itself. So where we're at currently is, did it tell us the registration was counterfeit? Is that what it was? Because I know we got the admin one. I'm going to tell that to just not tell me that again. Come on. There it goes. Fake serial number. Okay, be aware the cracked products may work. We want to pause. Tell user code. Okay, now where did we come from to get here? Well, the only way that we could have gotten here from this routine is going directly through it. There's nothing that could divert us from it at this point. There's these weird strings. And this looks like a calculation, I'll be completely honest. That looks fun. Okay, so here's our first jump. Now, what does that do? Does it take us past that? Attention, expire, and okay, so that's expiration. Now, what happens if we do take this jump and we bypass everything in here? Where do we end up? Holy crap, that's a really far jump. There it is. Takes us to here, past a return. We do a call and a return. What's in this call? Looks legit, right? Brings you into creating the dialogue. So, that was this guy here. There we go. No. Where's my go here? There we go. So we have a jump here that takes us over that. So we're clearly jumping to here, but we want to jump here. And how do we do that? Can I resume? Okay. This may cause problems though. Yeah, it looks like, okay, that's, now imagine all the ASLR was virtualized memory now. Right. That would be like doing reverse engineering of a embedded system emulating another system. That could be fun. Okay, so move ECX7, compare EAX, ECX. JA, now this guy. So what we need to know is right now we came out of our message box and ECX is some value. We jumped originally from this guy, and we need to know why, because we would rather be here than here. So that was a calculated jump, and we don't know what our value was. Maybe it was 1, maybe it wasn't. Let's see here, does that take us to where we're at? No, so 1 doesn't take us there. Oh geez, there we go, so plus. You can see from where I called, you stack, yeah. Let's see here. That's a good idea, sir. Oh, you mean by using the return? Or do you mean by looking for the argument? Because there would be no argument for this. Like, we know where it came from, but we don't know what the value of EAX was that got us there, because it's changed now from ID. App help too. Oh, you mean? Let's see here. Right. Not sure I follow you, because return from, it's going to be yeah, do you see that anywhere? We can go up the stack, we can go down the stack. There is no from IDM, only app help. But if we use your increment trick, we can do that. Oops. We can also hit enter on it. And we can see, go deeper, deeper. How deep do you want it? Hey. What? Not sure.
There's either cat food or dog food in the hallway.
Uh-oh. Well, we better clean that up.
Joey.
Joey. All right, are we back? Is it working? Is it going? Can you hear me now? I guess this is time for sleep now. LOL. All right, well, we are back. Not sure why OBS decided it was just going to die. I was going deeper, and then my ADHD was like, this is boring. So we went back to this, and we can just see where or how we got there. Much easier. We'll just put a breakpoint and rerun it, and it will tell us the value. Okay, so run. Mix it up. Cold coffee. Okay, that is not the jump. Run. All right. I told you I was going to click don't show this again. Totally didn't again. I think you could do this without breakpoints. If I absolutely had to, probably. Really wouldn't want to. Okay, so 6. We were close. 6. And 6 takes us here. And here we don't want to be. So is 5 what takes us here? And is that where we want to be? I'm willing to bet it is. Nope, it's not. Okay, well, that's fine. A debugger would be practically useless and you'd resort to a disassembler. Right. Exactly. I mean, the reason I use a debugger / disassembler is because you can see what's happening while it's happening. It's the main reason I don't do static disassembly by default. Like, if I have to, I will, or for analytics or something like that, I will, but I tend to try not to. So, what was I thinking? We wanted to land here. So, how do we do that? This address, edit, copy address. Calculator. Oops. Let's do a programma. Invalid input. Okay. 45 BB8. Wait a minute. Hex. Now, how do we get that from this? So, first of all, we're going to subtract 45 D9 2C. Okay, we've got this. And divide by 4. Pretty sure I did something backwards there. Times 4 plus that. So we got that. Oh, right. We need to start with this and divide by 4. And then subtract. Wait a minute. No, that's right. So we got to here. Wait a minute. What the hell? Jump. That brings us here. Copy address. Okay. Order of operations here. So this is going to be EAX times a number plus that number. And the only way to get here is if you have a negative. No, wait. What the? Am I mathsing wrong? 6 times 4 plus 4, 5, D, 9, 2, C. Damn decimal. Okay. 6 times 4 plus 4, 5, D, 9, 2, C. What's that? You want to sit? Okay, you can sit. Knocking the microphone around. Okay, so that would give us this. How did we get this? So let's go to this address and see what we find. 45 D9 44. Ah, right. It's what's at the address inside that. So now we found this awesome little jump table, which we see that we get this address here, and this address here, and this address here. And all of these, I'm sure, are very interesting addresses. So if we look at this, we have probably 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So what are each of these, and how would they benefit us? And is... Oh, you want down? Okay. I'll hold you. Quit drawing on your face. People probably think you got a bloody nose. You see your red face there. Hold you? Hungry? Again? Is that why you tried to eat the marker? Let's go clean your face off. What's your sister doing? Where's she at? Be right back. We'll wrap this up. I don't know. Come on. You know what's going on here? Usually when I'm doing this sort of thing, I take frequent breaks and I'll go have a cigarette or something, kind of clear my head, and I'll come back and I'll go, why didn't I just do this? Like, I've been intentionally trying to avoid this whole timer thing, to think of some way around that, because I don't want to do it the same way, because you strictly out of principle, because you pointed it out. Other than that, you're right. So we want to end up here so we can jump out here, and this address is BB82 BB82. Okay, so BB82, what is at the address? BB82, so we need 2 in EAX. So in EAX, let's do move EAX to O2, not 2, O2. Let's do a new origin here, and let's do that, and let's see where we go. Cool, hey, look at that. And let's see what happens when we run it. It terminates. Oh, really we need to find what thread creates the function for the exit and figure out why it's terminating, see where it's calling the terminate function from, but that's going to be more time than I want to do right now. I was hoping that I could just get this to work real quick. Is this the one that we need to be 3? No, that's our jump. Hard-coded that one. Hello, timer, my old friend. Yeah. We're going to set this to 2. We're going to hit run before the timer hits and see if it just, see what happens. Well, we're running. And then I bet if we do this real quick. Oh, it just died. Bloop. Nope all. Nope all. Just the whole thing, just the entire program filled with nopes. I love it. Just do that. Jump if not equal. Never jump. Always jump. Still have to jump. Greater. A. See, I can't use my head right now. It's S. There we go. Okay, test AL. Move AL byte. So go to following dump, memory address. We're going to set that to 0. It's already 0. We are jumping. Damn it. Fuck. New origin here. We should be able to do this. There we go. Let's do this. Were we successful in pausing? No. So we want to do new origin here. There we go. All right, so now it's terminated. Even though it worked, there was a timer that killed it. Compare ECX17, you saw that. That is in every routine for serial. This is true. Right there? You mean right there? You mean right there and right there? And if we come back everywhere else? So what you're telling me is if we start at that first nag screen and just toss 17 and ECX, it'll work, right? That's not what you're saying, right? It's definitely not what you're saying. Andy, yeah, right. Jump if not equal. So what if we just do, well, that's the length of the serial, 17. Right? So here we have 24. 24. 24. Move ESI 17. That's the length of the serial. So what you're saying is at the startup, there's no serial yet. And we need to tell it there is when there isn't. Search for command CMP ECX 17. Search. Control L. Search. Control L. Search. L. L. Whoop. Now, would it be that easy? Are you serious? Many of them duplicated at multiple addresses. So essentially we need to get it to think at the very core, whatever calls each of those, whichever, because it has to tie back somewhere, right? All right. This is very true. I did see the EAX. Did see the ECX. Go away. So we didn't get any nags. Everything came up. It's running. It hasn't died yet. So what now? We're waiting. We're waiting to see if it's gonna die. Excuse me. Like how I tried to do it off screen, just over here, like, oh, you can't see me. Okay, it hasn't died. Yeah, I finally clicked that damn button. So now what happens if we try to register? Okay, we've seen this. This is our friend. But what happens if we hit cancel? Okay, that's good, because here's what I want to do. We know where we want to go when we hit register. So I want to do register, and I want to do pause, and I want to do execute tell user code. Damn it. Okay, let's try it again. Tell return, and then hit cancel here. Perfect. Now, nice stream. Watch the archives. All right. Thank you, memcopy. I love memcopy, especially when people use it wrong. Buffer overflows are another thing that I really enjoy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. As always, feel special, and grab that Discord. Everybody grab it. Pop in there. I'll be idle in there. Throw ideas for streams, and I'll do it. We can work together. I love this, especially since Serbian Phantom, he's like, hey, I've done this. You're doing it wrong. I'm like, I want to do it different. You want to hold it? Did you color your mouth again? I just cleaned you off. All right, let's finish this because I'm almost done. So we're at a return. We need to do an F7, and that was here. That called it, which there's a jump here before it. Okay, so we can land there. I want to test that and see if that gives us a break as soon as I click registration. And it does. Now, what I want to do is go here. So let's JMP, see if this works. If it doesn't, no harm, no foul, nothing lost. Go. Runtime error. So we have to actually let it get into the thingy there. Right. No, I was being facetious with the you're doing it wrong, but no, the throwing ideas in, love it. And the timer. Definitely agree with you that there is a freaking timer. That's annoying. Let's restart this. Did I make any changes that I didn't save? If so, well, we're taking a step back. Get used to losing hours worth of work when you're doing this. Just get used to it. After the 5th time of losing like hours worth of work, you realize that it only takes you 10-15 minutes to get back to where you were the 2nd or 3rd time around. Okay, so we're running. Did I change this to anything earlier? I don't know. Let's do this. I mean, I know that I did change it to something earlier, but jump. Jump. Okay. I don't think we need to jump there. We'll see. Okay, we're running. We're paused here again. Same old jump. Tip of the day. Don't show tips. I clicked another box. Achievement number 2 unlocked. Registration, registration. Okay, that jumps here. It doesn't take the jump. This call happens. Whoops, I want to. Most amazing stuff is when you want to give up. The answer, yes, that's very true. Right when you're like, I don't get it. And that's why I take frequent breaks. I'll go take a smoke or get a drink or something, watch a video. I'll come back and be like, holy shit, it was right there the whole time. Where was I at? Yeah, you're right on the money there. Now where are we at right now? Okay, that's there. We went into here, but I don't want to go into it. Okay, there we are. So we need that to happen. Whoa. What? You're hungry? This kid eating me out of house and home. We had popcorn, 2 sandwiches, oatmeal cream pie. What do you want now? Oh, and like 2 corn dogs. We had dinner, tater tots and corn dogs. Yeah, I've cheaped out tonight. Let's see here. What do you want now? What? Horsey? We don't need horse. Okay, let's go see what we can find. I'll be right back. And yeah. not going to hold tight for very much longer, so let's get this wrapped up. Right now, we are going to jump over that. We were in that call. That call didn't make our dialog box. That's why it broke on us. So we're going to go ahead and hit F7. We are jumping over that. Now this call here. Let's hit back here. We're going to hit breakpoint there and an F9 there, and that did. So after that, we're inside this call here. Now let's hit OK. Please enter your first name, and let's hit pause. Let's hit execute till use code. Let's hit OK. And let's hit F7, F7, and here we are. So please enter your first name because we didn't put anything in. We know that if we fill it out, it'll work, but we don't want to have to fill it out every time we run it. So what we want to make sure is that we can just go ahead and hit OK. So we returned from here, and this was please enter your last name, call. Jump if not equal, otherwise we hit here. So let's try this. Let's do JMP. We know that at the end of this, at least from down as far as we were, is where we want to go. Let's test that out. And now we should be able to hit run. We're still here as if we just open it. We're going to hit OK. Please wait. Cool. Now we should be able to continue aboard, running, registered. Cool. So now we know all we need to do is patch this, edit, copy to executable. All right, exit. Cool. Yes. Okay. Save. Yep. Overwrite it. Okay. Now let's go restart. No, let's run it outside of the debugger because I think we're good to go. Let's close this. Let's close that. Looks like you got a few of them running. Cool. Exit. Okay. Now let's run Internet Download Manager. Internet Download Manager. Is my stream still up? I hope my stream's still up. Okay, it's running. And registration. We should get this. Should be able to hit OK. Please wait. Cool. And we are registered. So, there we go. No timer, no nothing. We're good. We're not being killed. All we have to do is every time we start the program, registration, register, and we're good. Now, I don't know anything about this program. It looks like it's used to manage downloads from the internet. I know there's a plugin for pretty much every browser you could think of, as well as Windows. I'm guessing the limitations is the number of days you can use, and if we can bypass that to where we're at here, then most likely you're good to go. Your serial number starts with, cool, so we are licensed. And serial number starts with, just in case you forget it. Warning, this computer is protected by... okay, don't care. Check for updates. You're using the latest version. All right, so we know that with a total of 3 patches, I think it was 4 and 4 bytes and 1 byte, so 9 bytes, we can get to where you just launch the program, hit registration, and OK. If we want to go a step further, we could tell it to pop it and then automatically do it as soon as the program started, so we didn't have to go here and there, but that would take probably another 30 minutes to an hour. Other than that, any questions? Message boxes brought to you by Messagebox A. Messagebox, anybody else feel like Messagebox W is a pain in the ass to work with? Oh, this is where I get stuck. Sorry, I wasn't ignoring you in Discord there. Let me take a look. Okay, so add me on Steam. All right, I will. So we can talk sometime. We're talking right now. Friends. You guys can find me. It's FJLJ. Add friend, don't know who that is, but sure, I usually always hit accept because I really don't care. Add as friend, there you go. You saw it right there on the stream, so you can't say I didn't do it. Now, let's see here. Here's a Discord. Let me come back out. let's take a look. We have this capture. You get stuck. Okay, so compare EAX. Dude, you got to right click. You got to do this. You got to right click. Morty, what are you doing? Okay, for example, there is a Discord. Let me. I mean, it's not mine. It's community driven. He made this with the invite link. There. That's a link. Should work. Now, edit RCE. Okay, so right click, appearance, highlighting, jumps and calls. You got to do it. Because looking at this is miserable. Okay, now back to the question. So you were looking for the, so, do you say, what are we in? So we're in game. You're in game send. Because okay. So what's the hold up? Breakpoint at game? That's this right here. That's your breakpoint. If you don't want it to stop there, then click it. Christmas tree is not better, and I'll tell you why. That is why. Christmas tree in XDB or X64DB or WinDB, yes, is better because it's essentially jumps and calls with a little extra. But in Ollie, the default Christmas tree is, oh my God, look at that. Memory access is okay, jumps and calls, but Christmas tree is hella ugly. Now, I'll say for sure you could go in and do custom colors. Let's see here what these, black and white, no, that's fine. You can go into the options and change it and do a lot. But yeah, the default Christmas tree is ugly as hell, and I don't have enough time to go through, so I got used to jumps and calls. Hold on. What? Airplanes. Tell you what, I'm wrapping this stream up, telling goodbye, and I gotta look at one more thing, and then we will make an airplane and fly it straight to bed. Well, it is bedtime. You know, you do still have school in the morning. Okay, so this works. We can close that. Highlighting, good. We can close that. And you're inside here, great. You've got, looks to me like you have a send function. What you're gonna wanna do is click on that function at address 528E00, right click it, and do find references to, and see where it's being called from. Take it one step deeper into that. And this one right above it here, likely is gonna be connected, usually what?
I folded it like this.
Yep, and then fold it like, yep. You fold it like this and you fold it like that. Come on, come on. It's paper folding. No, like this. Oop. So you fold it like this. And then you fold it again like that. And then you fold the other side again like that. Hold on, Jojo Bear. Watch. Sister will help you as soon as we're done. And then you fold it. And then you go back in here. Fold it like that. Fold it down like this. Are you flying in your airplane? It's pretty cool. Alright, and there you go. Now, the only reason I am back to streaming is because only has a reference to, well, oh, you mean the only place it comes from is that reference? Alright, Serbian, we'll talk to you later. Thanks for joining. Well, you need, well, Sister was going to show you how to do it now. Well, you want an airplane folded by Daddy. Got it. Let me finish. This only has a reference to, so, right, so that's the address that is going to be calling that function. So you would want to check and see what's there. Do me a favor if you want. go to that address, see what's there, and take a screenshot there if you need some further assistance. If there was a way to share your screen, I'd be more than happy to view and kind of go along with it, but I'm going to need a smoke break first. So if you want to set something up to where I can see remotely, real time, we could continue this with a session like that if you want. The noodles, yes, got to go finish the noodles. Well, let me help your sister make her airplane. Just don't use TeamViewer because I'll flip your screen. Well, we are officially at the end. This is where I would leave it. I am going to go feed the kids real quick and take a break. And if James wants to do kind of a reverse real time, walk him through looking things, I'm definitely happy to do so. Good night. Or in my case, yes, good morning to you, but good night, sir. Next time, we'll see you then. And if you have any suggestions as to programs we should look through that might yield more learning or thought process, hit me up. I did add you on Steam, so there you go. And I'll be right back because food is cooking. And let me know, James. I'm going to do something evil. I'm going to click play ad. I'm back. Mr. James, you there?
Sure am.
How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad yourself.
Not bad. A little tired. Do you know any way that we could remotely see your screen? Did you want to work on this more? Did you want to go to bed? What's up?
It's a bit early for bedtime for me. It's only 3:30 p.m. in Australia, but I was looking through Discord, and apparently they have a way to share screens through Discord if you're on each other's friends list, I think. So we can give that a try since it's pre-installed as well.
Absolutely. I just have to figure out how to add somebody to my friends list.
I think I just sent a request then, so hopefully it comes through. I'll send you the link to the
Got it. Found it.
no.
Screen sharing and video. There we go. So, voice and video. Okay. Looks pretty straightforward. Hey, dogs! That's cat food. Go on. You have dog food. Not that I know what the difference is.
Yeah, I didn't know that you could do the private chats and stuff inside Discord, but I'll learn something new every day.
Right?
Daddy, could you turn the TV? Could you turn our shows back
All right, so I guess that means I need to call you before video chat comes through.
Yes. What show? Yes. There we go. All right. We're in a call. Oh, now there's a turn on screen share button.
Oh, okay, I see.
Cool. And what we'll do... Yeah? Oh, thank you. Let's go sit down. I don't know why you're saying ow. Oh, cool. I got a screen share there. Now, can I make this full screen? Absolutely, I can.
Let me know
now.
if you can see my screen, mate.
I'm going to put it in here and make it big. And how do I only see it? Wait a minute. I'm confused. Is this my screen? Oh, okay. So I see. It shares my screen. And, wait a minute here. I'm confused. Can you hear me right now? Or do I have to push to talk in here too?
You have to push to talk, I think.
Okay, so you didn't hear a word I just said. Okay, so I see my screen.
That is very strange. It says that I'm sharing my screen. I've got 3 screens, so it may be...
Me too. Oh, there we go. So if I turn on screen share, yeah, that'll work. I don't have nitro, so we're going to have to do a 720p 30. That's fine. Dog, that's cat food. Don't growl at the cat over his own food.
I don't know, it definitely says that I'm sharing my screen.
Right. Let's see here. So that's my screen. Oh, okay, that's your screen.
Okay, so you can...
Okay, yes, I can see it. Oh, I see. Your screen has my YouTube stream on it. That's why.
Does it?
Because when I full screen, oh, there we go. Now I see desktop. Cool. And your screen is now my stream.
Oh, okay. That's. I'll
No, that's perfect because that's what we're going to be working on.
Okay, sweet. Well, I'll move everything onto that other screen then.
Woohoo! Oh God, I can't read any of it. Maybe if you enlarge, maybe we'll see. Yeah, we'll deal with it.
I can always translate if need be.
Right. Okay, so that's the call that brought you to that function, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you see that there's return, and just above it there's return, and above that there's not a return.
Are you looking at CPU or
Am I looking at what?
what part were you looking at? Sorry.
So the current line we're on, I can't make out the addresses. I think it says A6 is the last two.
Yep.
Okay. Now, if you go up 3 lines, you'll see a return there as well.
Yep.
Right. So something somewhere is going to be directly putting you at the line below that brings you to that call. And right there, okay, do me a favor. Right click, and let me pull up in my Ollie so I can see. Actually, I don't need to see, but go to Appearance. And no, that's not what we need. Okay, go to Options. And Debugging Options. And, oh my God, what the hell? What the? Oh, there it goes. I'm like, what?
I don't know what was going on there.
That was weird. Okay, now we want to go to, what version of Ollie is this?
I've got no idea. I think it's version 2.
Okay, that's fine. Let me see. Click on CPU, I think, is where it's going to be. Okay, show grade path if jump is not taken. Click that, and click show jump path. And click show jumps to selected command. There we go. Now hit OK. Now you can see exactly how the program gets there. If you scroll up and follow that red line, it jumps in there. If EAX is, does it say JE?
Yep.
Okay, so if it's equal, there you go. That will take you to the function call that calls your, was that receive or send? Game send, right?
Send, yeah.
Right. So most likely what's happening is just above that, you'll see that there's a call, or not above that, if we go back to that jump that brought us down to it. So above that, there's going to be a call, and is there a little squiggly line next to that, or is that an arrow?
Looks like an arrow.
Right, so the jump above that, so what I would do is I would put a breakpoint on the top function where it says push EBP, and then watch it get down to that compare, because what's going to happen is that compare is likely this function will tell it whether it's waiting to send or waiting to receive or something of the sort, and whether it's 0 or 1. Oh, I can see it now.
What the fuck just happened?
Magnification.
Well, I guess that works out. Let's go out a little bit though. Well, that's the first time that's ever happened.
That was pretty cool. I think you can go to options and then appearance and change the font. I mean, in Ollie. And fonts. And then you can change the size. That didn't do it.
No.
That looks like a really strange. You know, it's odd. That's not what my Ollie looks like at all, but let's see, what version am I running? Helping about, I'm on version 2.01.
Yeah, I'm using the OG, the Ollie 1.1 apparently.
Oh, I used to use that. Everybody did. That's okay. I know you can change the font somewhere, but hey, we're going to deal with it however we need to. So essentially that jump if not equal is going to bring us down to where we can do the jump if equal, which is likely going to determine whether or not we are going to go into a send function or one of the other calls in here. So it's kind of like a branch pathing. At least that's what I'm visualizing right now. And a lot of that's based off of the assumption that there's lots and lots of references to this one chunk. And so the send is going to be the times where it's always about to call that send function. And then you can work backwards from there.
Okay, so what would explain the, like I can't click on the game at the moment because you've got that.
Press play.
It won't let me.
Right. Take that breakpoint out. Now press play. And now you can. But you aren't going to be able to stop it. Now, are you on a multiplayer or a LAN game right now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think that's right.
So go down to the call just before the return in Ollie. And breakpoint right there. Okay, now see if you can go into the game. Okay, so it broke there. And yeah, there it goes. Now what you would want to look for is what's being sent as arguments, what is being passed to that game, and it's going to be the most likely the two options just before it there, or if there's any pushes, but you can look at the top of the stack and see what's going in there.
Well, this is the function here that you told me to earlier, but the one that I told you like what using data. But that's what I was originally doing. Kept getting a value in EDI that was called get count. Kept going back to get.
It kept going back to what?
The get tick count function.
Right. And what happens now when you do that? Or did you add those exceptions?
Yeah. So I went into options, debugging options, and I ticked the int3 break.
Okay. Click ignore also the following. And then do add range and do 8 zeros and then 8 Fs. Oops. Cancel that. Delete that one. And then add range and then 0, 0, and then where it says last, where it says same as above, change that to 8 Fs. Cool.
So that's the exact point there where the
Yeah.
what was it, W 32?
Do me a favor, double click the title bar to maximize the CPU window. Sweet. It's a little bigger. Okay, so that spot right there is right after the send, right?
Yeah.
And what information are we looking for?
Well, to begin with, I was trying to backtrace how the attack. I was trying to find this to begin with, or just anything. I was just sort of fiddling around.
Right.
A little text document here that I was trying to figure things out. I'm not sure whether that's helpful to go through my thought process or not, but
Nice. So put your breakpoint on the actual call, one line above where it's at right now. And now when it hits on that breakpoint, you'll be able to see all of the operations there. And if you right click in the stack where it shows data and follow that in the dump, well, of course, we'll have to manually do that. I can't read it.
yeah, I'll try and get magnifier back up for you if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Seems to just freeze. I'm not sure why.
I haven't used all in a while. What's the latest? The version I use is 2.0.1. And yeah, it's old. Hey, Jack. Okay, essentially the data is going to be a buffer, and you'll just, oh, does that say ECX or EBX?
For which one?
Does it say EAX, ECX, EBX?
Yep, so ECX.
There you go. So just right click ECX in the registers. And follow and dump. There's your packet information. But what does it mean?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So what you're going to do is click the first value of that hex and right click and do a breakpoint. And we want probably a memory on write or a hardware on write, and see what is writing to that address. You then just hit F9 to run through an iteration of it. Hey. And essentially we'll want to try and get it to break on that. Did we do a hardware breakpoint or a memory breakpoint?
I did a memory breakpoint.
Okay, that's fine. Usually I'll do a hardware on write, but that's okay. Remove the breakpoint on the call there and then hit run.
Dad.
Yeah.
Jack's eating the cat.
Jack! No, don't eat cat food. Don't know how to bypass command address. Try and change it. Fun. Hit OK. And just let it complain. You should be able to go back into the game now, and essentially we want to move around, try and create a packet that might trigger that breakpoint.
Won't let me back in the game.
Probably going to have to restart the game and then see if our hardware breakpoint is still there or not.
Okay.
And I do have Diablo 2. Oh, I got an error message. Hey. Hey. What are we doing? Oh boy. All right. For the stream here, I am going to sign out, but we're going to tackle this a bit more just because I got to get these kids to bed. And I think from here, we're going to take this offline and we'll probably come back and tell you what we learned. But thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cat, you just turned my monitor off.